What's going on? It's your boy Miles Cunningham, and in this video I'm going to be talking about 5 ways to gain power over any woman. So the #1 way to gain power over any woman or anyone in general is self-mastery. You see this shirt? Selfish. This is a selfish t-shirt that you can get at thebadboystyle.com. thebadboystyle.com. Go there and get your t-shirts, man. All right, so the first one is self-mastery. That's how you can gain power over anyone, because check this out. It's not just what happens in your life, it's how you respond to it. And that's what self-mastery is all about. It's about understanding how to respond to life as it happens in real time. Now, when it comes to dealing with women, you have to know how to respond. A lot of times, women are gonna say things, they're gonna do things, they're gonna act this way, you're gonna approach or you're gonna try to meet them, you're gonna ask their name, they're gonna say, oh, well, I don't give out my name to strangers and all that dumb shit. They're gonna say a whole bunch of nonsense. Now, how are you gonna act? How are you gonna respond? How are you gonna deal with the difficulties? How are you gonna deal with some of the frustrations that come with life? Are you going to let it stop you, or are you going to embrace it, laugh it off, dust it off your shoulder, and move forward? Which one are you gonna do? It's up to you to decide self-mastery. It's up to you to know how to respond to whatever happens in life. Now, here's the thing with self-mastery. The way you respond says everything about you, because if you can deal with all the things that happen in life in real time with a calm, confident, and positive manner, you attract more quality people into your life. And that's just a fact. Self-mastery is important because when you have everything together in your life, meaning you got your finances together, you got your spirituality together, you have your health together, right? You got your fitness together, you have your mindset together, you have your masculine identity together. When you have all these things working, what happens is you develop a certain personality, you develop a certain quality for your life. And so when you meet different people in your life, you have these qualities that instruct people on how to treat you. So when someone meets you and they realize that you have all of your priorities in order, you have mastered yourself, then chances are they're willing to follow your lead. They're willing to relinquish power to you, especially women, because what do we know about women? They are looking for leadership. All right. So self-mastery is super important. And that's the #1 thing you need to understand to gain power over any woman. The second thing that you need to understand about gaining power over any woman is to understand the falsehood of attachment. And this is something that I'm going to be talking about very soon on the Masculine Identity Membership. I think I'm going to make it the next installment, but I'll get into it a little bit here just to give you a taste of what I'm going to be talking about. So we have to understand that from the day that we are conceived, from the day that the sperm representation of us makes contact with the eggs and get inside and starts to create a single cell organism, which splits into 2, into 4, into 8, into 16, and so on and so forth, and turns into an embryo, what happens is we are sentenced to death. I know it sounds morbid, I know it sounds dark, I know it sounds crazy, man, but we have to realize that from the day that we are conceived, there is a date of our death. From the day that you're born, you're given a death sentence. Why is this important? It is important so we understand not to be too attached to anything in life, including life itself. Okay? Now, what that does for you is it allows you to maintain control based on what you truly want to do with your life. Once you understand your identity from an honest place, it allows you to not be controlled. Because let me tell you something. There are people out there that are controlled by their fear of death. There are people out there that are controlled by their fear of rejection. There are people out there that are controlled by their fear of a relationship ending. Well, guess what? You're gonna die anyway. So why be controlled by the fear? Why not just understand your position, be grateful, and enjoy everything in your life? That means you can enjoy the hunt. You can enjoy meeting women and getting rejected. You can enjoy meeting women and having sex on the first date. You can enjoy vetting a woman and grooming her for a relationship. You can enjoy the breakup process. You can enjoy all the good and bad that life has to show you. But you know what? I'm giving you too much. I'm going to talk about the rest of that on a Masculine Identity membership. Go to masculineidentitymembership.com, and I'm going to get into more about why attachment is detrimental to the masculine identity. So the third way to gain power over any woman is to never be afraid to lose her, which also speaks to the attachment idea, right? But here's the thing, especially in relationships specifically, you should never be afraid to lose a woman. You should never be afraid that a woman might cheat on you. You should never be afraid that a woman might become hypergamous and leave you for another man. You should never be afraid to lose a woman, because here's the thing. Relationships are about compatibility, not acceptance. You're not here to try to get acceptance from any female. You're not here to get acceptance from anyone. You're here to find compatibility. You're here to find someone that fits like a puzzle piece into your life so they can be a complement to your life, not a supplement, okay? You should, again, through self-mastery and understanding who you are, you should be a 100% complete man. And with that being said, you will or should attract a 100% complete woman. Once you do that, now you can be a complement to each other's lives. And when you're the thing with a compliment is it's not necessary. It's appreciated and it's enjoyed and it's a beautiful thing and we love it, but it's not necessary. So let me give you an example. A compliment is icing on the cake. Does cake taste good without icing? Usually it does, especially if the person really knows how to bake so the cake comes out moist and tasty. We don't really need icing on a cake. Icing is just extra, right? Say you're having a bowl of ice cream. Do you need whipped cream and a cherry on top? You don't need the whipped cream and cherry on top. The whipped cream and cherry on top is just a compliment. It's not necessary for you to enjoy ice cream. So it's the same thing with relationships. When you get with somebody, they should be a complement to your life, not a supplement. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if we're talking about ice cream and you ordered three scoops, you should have 3 scoops of ice cream. You shouldn't have 2 scoops and then the other person comes in to give you the 3rd scoop. No, you should have your 3 scoops already. Now, if you want the other person coming into your life is the whipped cream and icing on top, which is not necessary to enjoy ice cream. If you can't tell, I like ice cream. But anyway, so you have to understand that you should never be afraid to lose her, because she shouldn't be necessary for you to enjoy your life. She should enhance and add to the enjoyment of your life, but she shouldn't be necessary for you to enjoy your life. Okay, so you should never be afraid to lose any woman. All right, come into the situation remembering we're not trying to be attached. We're trying to have a good time. We're trying to enjoy it. Okay, now wherever it ends, that's where it ends, because remember, we're all gonna die. Every relationship we get into is gonna end, so we should never be afraid to lose her. The 4th way to gain power over any woman is to have an abundance mentality when it comes to getting chicks. Listen, man, there are almost, if I'm not mistaken, we're just about at 8 billion people on the planet, right? And if you do the research, women outnumber men. You understand? Not by a whole lot, but on a global scale, women outnumber men, all right? And in some places, in some cities and in some areas, women outnumber men 2 to 1, right? So here's the thing. We have to have an abundance mindset. We have to understand that, even speaking to the previous idea of never being afraid to lose her, we have to have an abundance mindset to know that we can attract other women, right? And as we grow, as we develop our masculine identity and we know more about who we are, we can attract more compatible women. That's the beautiful part. So you have to have an abundance mindset, and you have to know that if we happen to lose a woman, we're not really losing anything. We're just making space for another woman to come in. And we're making space, we're making room for a more compatible woman or woman to come into the space to enhance our life. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to have an abundance mindset. See, here's the thing. Look at the woman that you're with now, or look at the women that you're with now, and understand, if you attracted her, then that means you can attract somebody else. Okay? Once you realize that it's a possibility to attract women, you don't have to worry about it anymore. You can have an abundance mindset. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you understand who you are and you love yourself, the fact that you love yourself should put you in an abundance mindset, because you loving yourself allows you to know that it's possible for somebody to love you. Therefore, you can find other people who you're compatible with to get into relationships with. Okay? That is the abundance mindset. Loving yourself, accepting yourself, being confident in who you are, and being confident enough to understand that because you relate to yourself, you can relate to others. All right? Now, the fifth way to gain power over any woman is to keep your game tight. What do I mean by this? A lot of guys love to come in and try to figure out what game is, and a lot of guys don't know what game is. See, game is information and strategy that allows you to get what you want out of life in any situation. That's game. Now, a lot of guys think that game is limited to just dealing with women. No, game is everything. Game is your career. Game is your money. Game is your strategy to make investments. Game is even playing video games, understanding what to do to play video games, right? You get the code book, strategy book, all that stuff. Game is strategy to get what you want out of any presented situation. Any situation that you're in, you want to get what you want. You understand? But here's the thing with keeping your game tight. Keeping your game tight is making sure you have a concise strategy that speaks to your identity. You understand? And that means for you to have a protocol that is simple and it speaks to who you are as a person. So that means, for example, you have guys out there who, if they meet a girl who they consider to be a 4 or 5, they'll take her to Applebee's, right? But if they meet a girl who they consider to be an 8, 9, or 10, they'll take her to Ruth Chris. Here's the thing. Take every girl to Olive Garden. Take every last girl you meet to Olive Garden. Now, with the example that I just gave, I said Olive Garden because Olive Garden is somewhere in the middle between Ruth Chris and Applebee's. But what I really mean is take the girl to where you want to take her. And truthfully, we shouldn't be feeding chicks too early anyway, right? We don't feed chicks until we smash. We don't actually go out for food until we smash. But that's a whole nother conversation. If you want to learn about that, get on the Bad Boy membership, badboymembership.com. But anyway, find the place that you like to go and take every woman to that place. Here's the reason why, and this is how you develop tight game. Bring the women to where you want to be. Bring them into your world and keep the protocol for how you deal with women the exact same. No matter what she looks like, whether she's a 9 or 10, or she's a 5 or 6, or a 3 or a 2. It doesn't matter. She's a woman, and this is how you deal with women. A bunch of different women should be able to get into a room, and when they start talking about the guy that they're dealing with, who is you, the other women should be like, wow, that sounds familiar. Are you talking about Miles? Yeah, exactly. Well, I noticed that he has a certain protocol. He has a certain way he does things. And that's what made me attracted to him, because he never deviated and he always stayed consistent. See, a woman is looking for leadership, but she's also looking for consistency, because consistency builds trust. Consistency builds comfort. Consistency builds attachment of a woman to a man who knows how to be consistent in his leadership. So therefore you gain the power over the woman. You understand? So that's what I mean by keeping your game tight. That's what I mean by keeping your game tight. Develop a certain consistency, and consistency of character, consistency of protocol, consistency of the way you live your life, and consistency in the way that you manage your relationships with women. Because there's no reason to switch anything up for any one particular woman, because you are who you are. Don't let all these different types of women affect how you do your thing. You are who you are, and they're coming to be with you, not the other way around. All right? So it's your boy, Miles Cunningham. That has been 5 ways to gain power over any woman. I hope you learned something from this video. Hope you're having a great day, and remember, the truth is inside you. Peace.